It's the sick show. It's the sick show.
It's the sick show.
Hey, welcome everybody. Hey, today I want to explore the political landscape from a place of neutrality. That's right. Talking politics a little bit today, in a way. Just not necessarily politics in the sense of you're going to hear about this candidate or that or this belief or that, but more in, today we're going to dive into the often misunderstood world of political agnosticism. Agnosticism, is that a real word? Did I just make that up? I don't know. Yeah, it's just where that's just what I do. I just make things up. I make words up. But this just from a place of neutrality, And so you might be asking yourself, what is political agnosticism? Well, ag- agnosticism is in a political sense doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It's about acknowledging the complexities of the political spectrum and recognizing that you might not fully align with any one party or ideology. So, this the agnosticists or agnostics, either way you want to look at it, they may identify with certain issues from different sides of the aisle, or they may be skeptical of the two party system altogether. It's not indifference, it's just an approach with an objective lens, focusing on facts, policies, rather than your emotions or political loyalties, I guess is a good way to put it. My approach does not dismiss my own opinions, but I strive to present them fairly and consider all sides of the issue. So I say this is what I was talking about with Ashley Beeman quite a while back. I said, I fall in the middle, and she said, "You're not middle. You have opinions." I said, "Yeah, I do," and I've thought about that since. I've thought a lot about how I stated that at that time, and I think what I've come up with is that I'm not necessarily neutral. I'm not necessarily middle. I'm more political agnostic. I think that might be the way to look at it, and there's many reasons for that. Um, I many reasons why I chose to be politically agnostics, um, and a political agnostic. Perhaps you're disillusioned with the partisan gridlock and that often and currently dominates political discourse. Maybe you find yourself agreeing with some policies from the left and some from the right. Or perhaps you simply value independent thinking and critical analysis over blind allegiance to a party. That's where I found myself. I'm not politically bound by one party or another. Here in Indiana, when we go to the primaries, we have to declare a party. And boy, there's times when I put in, one or the other just out of spite. It's like, God, who's drove me the most nuts with phone calls in this election period? Who has been the one with the most obnoxious amounts of political campaigning? And then out of spite, I just pick the other. Right or wrong, I do find myself there sometimes, just a little bit like. Uh, Almost political drunk. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right way to put it or not, but maybe you simply value independent thinking and critical analysis over this blind allegiance. That's where I'm at. And in recent years, political discourse has become very, man, it's just so polarized. You got to be one or the other, and I'm not. I'm not one or the other. I'm much more complicated than that. I've stated that in a podcast that I'm more than one thing. And it almost feels like we're not just being asked, it's insisted upon us that we have to be one or the other. Oh, you're not red or you're not blue. Oh, whatever. I'm not. I'm an American. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. That's where my allegiance lies. Has nothing to do with a candidate or their party. Um, Social media algorithms have gone bananas. We're all aware of, there's interference going on there. There's people playing with those algorithms. People that have figured out we how we are motivated, how we are influenced through language, through things we see, and then they utilize these algorithms to play on that. You know, Here I am. I'm just a dude that wants to look at funny memes. I want to see cool like reels and shorts, and they're figuring out how to infiltrate what I look at, what I'm reading, what I'm viewing, and come up with a way to influence how I'm going to vote. And that drives me absolutely insane. I know it's happening. If you don't know it's happening, now you do, because it is. That is happening. There are some very intelligent people out there that are utilizing algorithms to influence what's on your feed. Switch up your feed for a week. Don't look at the same thing. Look at the polar opposite and see what starts happening. See what your ads look like on different social media sites, and see what starts popping up on your Facebook feed. I'll be interested to see what my Facebook feed looks like after I have this podcast. I've got my phone sitting here right next to me, and as they listen in, as it picks up the things that I'm talking about, I'll guarantee you some things are going to pop up on there. So this is why I've become what I consider a political agnostic. I'm I guess I'm over. I guess I'm over the idea that if I'm going to choose one puppet or the other, I'm going to be fooled, because when they pull the curtain away, it's the same person with one puppet on the right hand and one puppet on the left hand. Yeah, we're all being played like that. At least that's my opinion. So, and, the good news is it's the Schick Show, and I get to express my opinion. And it's very rarely that I talk politics on my show. I'll brush on them here and there, and I'm not going to apologize for it today. It's going to be right there in the title. I'm a political agnostic. That is the title of this podcast, and so I'm not going to apologize for that. I shouldn't have to. We shouldn't apologize for any of our political leanings unless you're a Nazi, and that's absolutely ridiculous, and you should be apologetic. But back to the lecture at hand. I feel like I'm a rap there from getting a little old school on you. So there's, oh my gosh, man, I'm all over the place already. Well, so anyway, just thinking about the social media algorithms and the cable news outlets that they create this echo chamber, and it reinforces your existing beliefs, and it makes it difficult to encounter opposing viewpoints. So, like I said, switch it up. See what happens. Who are we to trust? Our favorite podcast host? Wink, wink. Or an influencer? I mean, who are you going to trust so that you can believe what they're talking about? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It's different for everybody. There are so many out and out lies. There's a lot of mistruths, a lot of influential language that is being utilized that makes it very difficult for one to really feel comfortable in the decision they made. And then once you make a decision, you don't have to be beholden to that position that you're in. Now, that's another thing that drives me insane. Maybe that's another reason I'm, this agnostic feel, or this neutral person when it comes to this, is I don't have to hold on to my beliefs from 4 years ago, from 15 years ago. I can grow and I can change, and we do that. The way I consume food right now is very different than what I consumed when I was 19. I mean, for crying out loud, I was able to chug a 2 liter of Pepsi and smoke a pack of cigarettes and eat a bunch of raw cookie dough and still, what I thought, well, I didn't think it, but looking back on it now, I was a pretty attractive guy. I could still go out and ball at that time. I could jump. I could sprint. Man, I haven't sprinted in a long time. But we can change. We can grow. And why we get so hung up in our own, not even our own, in someone else's ideology. And once we say it, oh my God, I said it, so I have to stick by it. You know what? It's okay to say, I was wrong. It's not that hard. How many? I would really be interested to know how many folks out there that are willing to admit I was wrong. I think it's more than I believe. I hope it is. But there are times when I'm like, gosh, people, do you not realize you're wrong? It's okay to be wrong. We got to work on that. There are benefits to being, in this position, to being neutral, to being agnostic. And, despite some challenges, there are always advantages to approaching politics with an agnostic perspective. I can be, we can all be more discerning voters. We can focus on the issues that matters most to us, to me, rather than blindly just following the party line. Oh, this is a big deal, so I have to follow it. I guess my ideas and my thoughts and my worries aren't as important because so and so said this. So that must be the real big issue, not my worry about whatever it might be. We can offer, being agnostic offers me being more open to compromise and finding common ground. That's not so common anymore. They used to talk about common sense not being so common. Now it's common ground is not so common. By the way, we have a great coffee shop here in Hartford City called Common Grounds. Go up there and get you a coffee. They don't pay for any kind of sponsorship. I love promoting a good business. But finding this common ground, that's essential for effective governance. For real. Like, when did we lose that? When did we stop thinking about we have to find some common ground. We have to find a way to work together. Instead, it's either this side or that side. It's either blue or red. That's the only way it'll work, either blue or red or blue. No, nothing in the middle. Nope. Oh, God, it drives me insane. Now I'm having second thoughts about why I should have even done this podcast. Anyway, so political neutrality can be a valuable perspective for you folks. And, individuals who think this way, we can be a bridge between divided sides. We can help people come together, being able to facilitate communication and compromise. And I think about that when I was, trying to communicate between teenagers. I see a lot of it, watching a lot of it online right now, especially right now. It's getting pretty heated recently after the debates, right? But there's no common ground. People don't want to even admit that they might agree on something. It's so bizarre to me that we can be so polarized. We can be so venomous that I had someone, oh God, I just slapped my own knee. Ow. I had someone the other day. I was just trying to have a conversation, and I'm like, look, I'm not coming at you with venom. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying I have some concerns. And this is someone I like, trust, and respect, and still do. But I lost a little bit of that for him. And I couldn't believe when I put on there, I'm afraid that this might be the year that I don't vote. And that will be my vote. My vote will be that I can't vote for president. I'm going to vote for other people. I'm going to have to put something in there. Maybe I'll, if I can find a write-in or something to make myself feel better. I don't know, but Currently, I cannot consciously vote for either. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. And so I'm expressing this, and with some older folks who I like, trust, respect. And one of them said, "Then don't vote." Well, maybe that's what I was asking for. I don't know. Maybe that's what I was asking for, was for someone to just tell me, "Hey, don't do it." But it wasn't. I was looking for conversation. I was looking for, you know, some sort of, I don't know, man. I was looking for something. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I found it. Thanks. Appreciate it. But damn it, man. I would never tell someone to not vote. I'm not telling anyone right now not to vote. I'm just telling you what my vote will most likely be. Uh, it's so frustrating. You know, we can get into, um, we can find common ground, and I think with the way I approach it, my hope is to help others find that common ground, and to be able to pull sides together. But neutral individuals, having that ability to see the facts and get all the emotion out of it, get all the allegiance out of it, all the, I said something, I said I'm a Democrat, or I said I'm a Republican, so I have to be, and I have to toe that line. Um, I'm not. I'm neither. I'm an agnostic, and I can see both sides. And I'll say it's very difficult to see them clearly, but I think that folks in my position, we can help other people ground discussions in those facts, in that evidence, rather than through rhetoric and personal attacks. Man, look at all the personal attacks going on right now. It's sad. It's sad. We're all Americans here. We're all people who want the same thing. We want a great America. We want an incredible place to live. Um, it is, man, I hit the lottery by being born here, and by being born an American. There are other people that are literally dying and risking their lives to become Americans. And here we are. We are so blessed with just being born American, and um, we can't stop fighting each other. There are challenges to being agnostic. You know, of course, there's always challenges. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like, oh, woe is me. I mean, I get it. I mean, every way has it, but sometimes um, I can feel unheard or misunderstood. I think that's the biggest one. Um, I think I feel very misunderstood and especially in a political climate that often rewards blind loyalty. I'm not blindly loyal. I'm not, and I won't be. I refuse to do that. There was a bunch of people that did that back during the revolution. They were called loyalists, and they were blindly loyal to the crown, and um, they lost. It can be, I can be very misunderstood, and especially um, in conversations. I have difficulty navigating through conversations where strong partisan identities are present. People don't know what to make of me, and oftentimes I'll be accused of this or that. That happened the other day. I was accused of being something that I'm clearly not, and I have to continue to identify myself as, you know, uh, I'm agnostic. I'm politically agnostic. Stop. There's no venom here. I'm not coming after your candidate. I'm not coming after your party. I'm not coming after your beliefs. That's not what I'm doing. I am simply trying to navigate and find the truth, to find facts, to find evidence, to find something that makes sense, and look at the future to ensure that it makes sense in the future too. Because, you know, Think about it, folks. We were all adolescents at one time. Some of you may be right now. And what feels good right now, oftentimes, it's going to hurt later on. That bag of Doritos I bought earlier today, I got about a quarter of the way through them. And I realized this is going to hurt. This is going to be really hard to overcome later. But, I seek out diverse sources, and I look for varying understanding of issues. I challenge myself. I challenge my own thinking. I want to stretch. I want to know. And if I'm find myself where I'm really conflicted, I just look for facts. And I try and see it from someone else's point of view. Boy, I think we all struggle with that, looking at something from someone else's point of view. But um, it is difficult to navigate through those conversations because people have very strong feelings. People are very polarized, and if you challenge that, or if you bring something to the fold that doesn't agree with their beliefs, they get very offended very quickly, and then they complain about the other side being very offended very quickly. It's so like, man, did you look in the mirror? Hell, even some people's identities are heavily intertwined in their political leanings. It's like, I'm this, so respect that, or I'm that, respect that. Yeah, okay. How about you be a human being? How about you follow the? I'm not going to tell people what to do. Just all I'm saying is if you're feeling challenged and you want to look at it a different way, I'm giving you permission. All right. So I know some folks look for permission to do something. You have it today, but seek out diverse viewpoints. Don't just listen to sources that confirm your existing beliefs. Like, how often it's just comfortable. It's very comfortable to listen to something you already agree with. It's very easy. It's like, yep, I'm right. I feel good about myself. I'm going to sleep well tonight. Instead, listen to something that makes you go, damn it, I think I was wrong. I'm probably going to lose sleep thinking about this tonight, and I'll have to get up and go and seek sources. Oh, don't use the internet because what are you going to use? Encyclopedia Britannica? Come on, man. That's another thing that gets to me. Oh, where's your source? Listen, I have pretty good judgment due to my life experience and things I've seen, things I've witnessed, people that I utilize as counsel. You focus on facts and policies, evaluate these policies based on their merits, not on the party proposing them. If I was part of a party, it'd be like, here's my ridiculous party idea. So I'm going to be part of the baking party. And the baking party says that we are going to have confetti cake with swirl icing and like the flour things on the corners. And we're going to use buttercream icing because it's the best icing. That's how ridiculous it sounds. Y'all are listening right now going, how dumb is that? That's how dumb all this sounds to me. When we talk about politics and someone declares this is the way it should be and there's no other way it could be, and those that disagree are wrong and are evil and are trying to destroy democracy and yeah, blah, 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 blah. Well, reduce it to the ridiculous, and it's talking about your favorite cake with your buddies. But be respectful of others' opinions. Even if you disagree, you're going to disagree at some point. Even those on the same side of the aisle right now disagree on many points of view, but they tend to find compromise within their own parties. But you can have a civil conversation. Stay away from personal attacks. Gosh, please just stay away from personal attacks. It's just ugly, and it doesn't bode well, and you're going to kill a relationship with someone that, honestly, you may need each other down the road for something. Are you going to let a conversation that got heated about politics get in the way of that? Come on. But as a neutral person, as an agnostic, just show your neutrality and be very matter of fact with your stances. And do not assume knowledge. Don't make that critical error. Don't make that error where you're assuming knowledge, you're assuming something of the other person, you're just asking for trouble, you're asking for this conversation to go south very quickly. Be independent in your thinking. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. I can't say that enough. Learn about that other person, find out what motivates them, and utilize that understanding. What I hear you say is, it appears to me that, and just think about, here's what that sounds like. Here's what that looks like. But be respectful in whatever you do. And despite all the challenges, being a political agnostic is a valid and valuable perspective to have. If you identify as an agnostic, embrace your ability to think critically and independently. Don't be afraid to challenge assumptions and advocate for the issues you believe in. And remember, your voice matters. Your opinion matters. Your thoughts on topics matter, regardless of your party affiliation or lack thereof. It matters. People, we hold these things tight, and it matters to us. These issues there's something behind them. Is this right for you? I don't know. Being politically neutral is not for everyone. Some folks are naturally drawn to advocacy and activism. They have things that draw them towards a party, due to family, due to, religious beliefs, whatever it might be. But for those who are feeling overwhelmed with partisan gridlock, being a politically neutral or agnostic person can be a refreshing approach. You don't have to identify as neutral. You can still contribute to more. Let me rephrase that. Remember, if you don't identify as neutral, you can still contribute to a more civil and productive political discourse. We can have a conversation that can be productive. Be willing to stand your ground, but also think about the other person's perspective. This is your neighbor. This is someone that you're going to encounter, and they might be that person that you may disagree on it. You may have total disagreement on political beliefs, but they may be that person that when something happens in your life or something happens in their life, that they're that person that's going to lead the charge to help you out. So let's focus on finding common ground and building a better future together. Can we do that? I hope we can, and we are. We do. I'm not a naysayer. I'm a very positive person, and I strongly believe we continue to get better and better all the time. And even though there are times when things go the wrong way, there is always hope for a better future, and that we just have to decide that we, the people, are more important than any political affiliation. And that's the difference. We're more important as a human being, in general. We're more important than that political affiliation. And work together. Listen, get to know one another. And thanks for joining me. Man, this is not what I expected to have today. Folks, Thanks a bunch. I'm out of here.